Thanks for checking out the Cinema Scumbags Movie Podcast. On today's episode, a conversation with filmmaker Patrick Brice. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Cinema Scumbags. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the show. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Cinema Scumbags Movie Podcast, episode number 63. I'm Seth.
I'm Nick D.
I'm Matt.
I'm Filmies Nick.
What's goody? What's going on? What's up?
What's cracky?
What's wrong, Daddy?
Oh, man. Well, should we just get right into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Something a little different going on today. Earlier this week, you guys had a chance to chat with filmmaker Patrick Brice.
You were making some life changes.
I had a nice record going of not missing anything regarding this podcast, but something got in the way. That's all right. These guys stepped in, had a good conversation with Patrick Brice. He's a filmmaker. Creep, The Overnight. I think The Overnight's on Netflix, right?
Yep, both of them are.
Both of them are.
Oh, both of them, yeah. So Creep is a great film. I haven't seen the other one, but these guys had a chance to talk with him earlier, recorded the conversation. We're going to kind of insert it here. This will probably be a longer episode. I think they had a lot of things to say with Mr. Brice. So let's play it.
All right, guys, we have a special guest on the show this week, filmmaker Patrick Brice, known for the films Creep and The Overnight, both available on Netflix. So make sure you guys check them out if you guys haven't. But Pat, we appreciate having you on the show, and how the hell are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. That was an extremely professional introduction. I wasn't ready for it.
Did you like that one?
Well, I usually butcher every word I say, so I appreciate the kind
We've
words on
got
that.
fucking Patrick Brice on today.
Yeah.
That's how I'd usually say it, right?
Yeah.
Good
But
job.
no, appreciate having you on the show. I mean, awesome. So I just wanted to, kind of know, how did fucking Creep happen?
So Creep, it happened in a weird way. It kind of snuck up on me. So I'm originally from Northern California, and I moved to Los Angeles to go to Cal Arts, which is kind of I went there for film, but it's mostly known as an art school. It's like a fairly, progressive, kind of nutty art school that happens to have a film school inside of it,
Was there a reason why you chose that, by the way? Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I went there. So I had basically worked every odd job imaginable. I'd always wanted to be a filmmaker, but I was initially, working to support myself while I was in school and going to junior college in San Francisco for the most part. And, as it happens, I ended up getting promoted at whatever job. I was working as a valet for a long time, and I eventually got promoted to be a valet manager. And so I found myself at age 19, managing 30 employees at a valet parking facility and still taking my one community college class, but really not making movies and waking up and wearing a suit every day and feeling pretty bad about myself. And it really was to be honest, it was meeting my then girlfriend and now my wife, who was a straight A student at Berkeley and completely had her shit together. And, she was like, you always talk about making movies. You're obsessed with movies. This is what you wanted to do since you were 13. You should actually do it. I'm just eternally grateful to her. 'Cause one of the reasons I started making work again is, that she hopefully wouldn't break up with me. And she hasn't yet.
That's good.
You're on a good pace.
Yeah.
So you're still in the clear.
Yeah.
I'm still in the clear. I'm still making movies that, even to this day, she's like, wait, what are you going to do? And and is still, has a healthy amount of skepticism, but at the end of the day, she ends up usually liking the end product. So we're our batting average is okay so far, but there still is I'm still fighting it a little bit, at least in the inception stage. So she had graduated Berkeley, and so I applied to go to CalArts to finish my undergrad degree. And one of the reasons why I wanted to go there is because I was 25 and going back to school to finish my undergrad. And so, coming in as a transfer student, I would have been a junior. I wanted to go someplace that, was more sort of accepting and understanding of like students on the non-traditional path,
Right.
Sure.
And so I was going to school with like 18 and 19-year-olds for sure, but I was also going to school with like 30 and 35-year-olds too. And so it was like a nice mix of people doing different things, and not a lot of people doing narrative filmmaking there, mostly super experimental stuff, like video installations, all kinds of weird shit. And so I ended up sort of spending 2 years getting exposed to a lot of really interesting stuff that I wouldn't normally have come across, and also, in a weird way, has kind of ended up influencing, a more straightforward narrative filmmaking path that I've taken after school. And so anyway, so the original question was about Creep. So yeah, so I'd met Mark Duplass through mutual friends, and he'd seen my thesis film from school, which was a documentary. You can actually watch it online. It's a short. It's called Maurice. It's about the last porno theater in Paris that still plays 35mm film.
Ooh, nice.
And about the guy that runs it, who I kind of lucked out. He's a what do you know it? He's a nut. But he turned out to be a great character, at least to spend a week with, and get to make this weird little movie. Where it was helpful to make that movie too, because I realized that I didn't want to make verite documentaries after I made a verite documentary.
Right.
And it was
exactly. You got it out of your system. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I'm 6'6", and so I'm huge. And to make movies like that, you really have to be able to blend into the wallpaper a little bit, and sort of, and be a fly on the wall. And it was just like, even my physical presence was too much of an influence. Like, I kind of ended up using that to my advantage a little bit. Like, it's a documentary, but it's also like I shot listed it, and I had him perform for me on camera, so it was kind of like blurring the lines a little bit of whether exactly of realism. And so Mark had seen that, and we were sort of talking about next steps after I graduated from school. And he's the one that kind of brought up this idea of making a movie with just two people, this idea of making a movie with just two dudes and a movie camera. And it was from there that sort of the initial conversations of what this movie, which was originally titled Peach Fuzz, could be.
Okay. Yeah, now this makes sense.
Yeah. No, Mark had just texted me at some point out of the blue and said, I don't know why. And this was before we'd really come up with anything. But I think this movie should be called Peach Fuzz. And it's still Peach Fuzz in my heart, for sure. And it's also funny because like the fact that it's called Creep and not Peach Fuzz is a little indicative of like, okay, that's the moment when I sold out. Was when
couldn't stick to Peach Fuzz. Just couldn't do it.
No. That is the physical representation of me selling out to Hollywood was Jason Blum at Blumhouse saying there's no way in hell your movie is going to be called Peach Fuzz, and me saying okay.
Didn't believe in it, I guess.
No, I still love it, but I think Creep works. I think Creep's good.
Creep
and
is fitting.
I was
It's fitting.
yeah.
Simple.
I know there's a I don't, have you guys seen that British film with the woman from Run Lola Run that's also called Creep?
No, I haven't.
It's like about a monster in a subway stalking someone. I haven't seen it either, but that was the only other movie called Creep, and so I'm comfortable with,
Right.
With one
us being
other.
the other Creep. Yeah.
Sure, there aren't any other peach fuzzes out there.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I think the idea was that they initially wanted to market this movie as a wider release than it ended up getting. And so the idea was that kids weren't going to go see a movie called Peach Fuzz at the mall,
Right. I think that kind of leads me into a question. Like, whenever I come up with an idea, it starts as one thing, and just as it goes, it turns into something completely different as you go. Is that kind of how Creep was? Did it start somewhere and then just kind of went off on a tangent?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's a really great way of describing it, or especially the process specifically with this movie too, because it was improvised and because it was a film that we sort of, not just in the actual initial production of it, that over the course of a year and a half of testing it, getting audience feedback and feedback from other filmmakers, and then doing reshoots, putting that stuff in the movie, retesting it. It was like this sort of amorphous movie from the start.
Right.
And and so because I wouldn't necessarily recommend this as a way of making a movie to anybody, because it's really frustrating and you kind of need to leave your ego at the door from the get-go.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm saying this literally we're about to go into production on Creep 2, which we're making in a very similar way. So, but with more planning, thankfully, going into it, at least initially. But I think being open to those sort of those shifts that the movie ended up demanding, as opposed to being shifts that we sort of put into motion, it was a big learning process for me. I mean, this was the first narrative film that I'd really ever worked on. I hadn't even made a short before,
Right.
Wow.
And luckily it was this kind of experiment of a movie, and luckily I'd come from this more experimental background where I could sort of look at it from take a step back and look at it from a form perspective. And also both of us being completely ignorant of the found footage genre helped immensely, because there's a lot that movie does, and there's a lot that we take credit for at this point, of subverting genre tropes that we didn't even really know existed.
Right.
Yeah.
We were just solving problems that we'd created for ourselves, and luckily some good came out of that, but I think a big part of it, and a big lesson, to take away from that movie, and that I'm now, it's just part of me now, and I apply it to everything I do, is that willingness to be able to not I don't want to use the word change, but pivot, and say, okay, this isn't working. Why is this not working? What's something similar that we could do that makes sense as a solution to this creative problem that I'm having right now,
Right.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you're talking about in terms of?
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, it's just when I have an idea in my head, it starts with that idea, and then as it
ends up
progresses,
something else, right?
as it progresses, it just turns into something different than what I initially had in my head.
Right.
It's kind of like that, and I think that happens with a lot of things. You start with one thing and then just goes off.
Yeah, and I think the goal especially when you're making a movie that requires a lot more money and time, and all of a sudden you're beholden to all these people you're working with on set who are looking to you for answers. It kind of behooves you to answer as many of those questions as you can in the writing stage, obviously.
Right.
But with a movie like Creep, and with Creep 2, we've mapped out, I think, as much as we want to map out, and then you want to leave that 25% open to those lightning in a bottle moments, and those special moments that can only come from learning by doing.
Right, exactly.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I did want to ask you, how big was your crew when you guys did Creep?
Well, so the initial production which was a week, was just me and Mark Duplass, and we rented that cabin, and we had a 5-page outline, and it was, the film was more of a straight up dark comedy, I guess.
Yeah.
Than a horror movie. It really, the horror elements of that movie all sort of, they were there initially, and when we showed the initial cut to people, which was not very good, but the best moments from it were the stuff that really, brought out this just crazy tension of the film does a weird thing where because it's only 2 people, and you really feel that, I think, as an audience viewer, it kind of implicates the audience in a really disconcerting way,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, especially with the surroundings too of it, where it's set and all the location and stuff.
Yeah, it really feels like the 2 characters are the only people that exist in the world.
Yeah.
And so when you're engaging with that movie on Netflix, as most people have discovered that movie, you're the other person in the room, kind of.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
with a victim and a psychopath, and so it's become kind of an interesting experiment. I'm surprised people are willing to watch this movie. This movie is a movie for masochistic motherfuckers who want to feel awkward and weird for an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah,
That's
And
us.
Thank God they exist, and God bless them. But I was quite worried about especially what the genre community's response to the movie was going to be initially. Right up to when we premiered the movie at South by Southwest, I think horror fans are super picky, and rightfully so, because the genre, especially now, has actually been churning out some amazing stuff, but it's been kind of known for certain laziness and
Right.
and people just relying on tropes, and so I was worried, because it was oh my God, this movie is just 2 dudes getting weird with each other in the woods.
But it works though.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank
Yeah,
you. But yeah, but no, it's been it's been actually a testament to horror fans for me, and that oh yeah, if you make something that is if the audience can see a genuine enthusiasm and a genuine desire to make something that's different, but is hopefully getting at those same feelings that all the great horror movies get at, in terms of getting under your skin, there will be an audience for it. I think it's when you see laziness or cynicism that people are okay, we get it. I see one exploding head, you've seen them all.
No, exactly.
Scanners.
Yeah.
Hateful Eight.
What was it like? For Creep showing at South by Southwest. What was that experience like?
It was out of this world amazing. I couldn't think of a better place for that movie to come into the world. Sundance is awesome, but at the same time, it sort of feels like a long work trip for a lot of people that are there. You know, it's so industry heavy, and such a marketplace that, you know, I think a movie like Creep could easily fall through the cracks there. Whereas at South by Southwest, you know, you get a lot. The film goers just are more inclined to sort of, they want to have a good time, and they're giving the movie the benefit of the doubt. So it was nice to be it was like a friendly place,
right?
To you know, bring a movie that was like just so intimate, and that I really couldn't be objective about, especially because I'm in the movie, and I'm not an actor by any means. And so, you know, I was very happy that it ended up coming into the world there, and just as I was, you know, so happy that it ended up being released on Netflix. Like, it's a movie that I would honestly not want people to pay $16, get a nanny, go to the movie theater to go see that movie. You know, I'd rather it be this weird movie that people are like, what the fuck is this? And
right.
then, you know, sort of get to discover it on their own.
Well, yeah, and
know?
you have more of a like personal experience whenever you're, you know, one-on-one with it.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, from that genre of Creep being kind of a horror film, I guess, you know, dark comedy, to the Overnight, is there ever like a genre that, you know, you want to do more of, or is it kind of just horror based, or comedy, or both, or?
Well, I'm sort of, you know, it's funny because, like, I think, you know, I think before you start making stuff, you sort of you have like a preconceived idea of what kind of filmmaker you are and what kind of movies you want to make. And I think one of the things that ends up holding a lot of filmmakers back, or ends up kind of being a stumbling point, is that, you know, maybe the movies you're supposed to be making are not the movies you thought you were going to be making. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, for me, and this is just like me speaking from personal experience and just what, you know, what has sort of been thrown at me and how I've reacted to it in my, you know, in my short career so far. And it's, you know, I thought I was going to be a much more sort of formalist filmmaker. Like, you know, I grew up, you know, my passion for movies came from watching like fairly serious stuff, like, you know, David Lynch and Wim Wenders are, you know, my guys. And and obviously, like, I love Paul Thomas Anderson and Tarantino and, you know, Werner Herzog and all these auteurs. But I think, like, realizing that, you know, at least from the get-go, you're not always able to make the movies you have always dreamed of making, and so you have to sort of learn as you go. And never in my wildest dreams did I think my first movie would be a found footage horror movie that I acting in, right?
Right.
But that was the opportunity that presented itself, you know. And so I said, okay, well, I'm going to try to make the best version of that I can. And just as with the Overnight was me kind of embracing just my love of dumb comedies, and realizing that that's like something that I could do, you know, within these constraints. You know, Creep was taking a long time to finish, and Mark Duplass had come to me and said, you know, basically, if you are able to write a movie that's contained from a production standpoint, I'll help put it together. And so, you know, that's what I started with the Overnight, was just like, okay, I only have a house and 4 characters. You know, what can I do with this? What are my tools? And I think, you know, being really aware of my tools and not overextending myself from a thematic standpoint or a production standpoint is really helpful. You know, like, I'm very self-critical, and I feel like I'm very aware of when I'm trying to do something that seems like a stretch or seems like it's not going to work. And so, you know, coming from Creep, where we had nothing, you know, where we, like, literally that movie was made for a couple grand or something, to the overnight, where I had a little bit more money, was really helpful because I now had a gaffer and I had a cinematographer. I now had actors, and so it was a nice transition because all of those things had been my responsibility before, and now I had someone it's literally their job to just do that specific thing that I can rely on, and it's now just up to me to effectively communicate to them,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well,
and give them everything they need to do the best job possible,
with that layout that you were explaining about the overnight, and then with people like Jason Schwartzman and Adam Scott, was there a lot of improv that was going on throughout that whole process?
There was some, it's the movie was totally scripted, but we wanted to leave it up to the actors for when and where they wanted to interject improv. We wanted to use, obviously, just because especially Adam and Jason are just masters of that. We wanted to keep that open as like as a connective device, but not be something where you're just feeling like you're watching a 20-minute take of a great comedian actor going on a rant, and then you're kind of like watching a best of compilation of his zingers,
Right.
Which I feel like happens a lot in modern comedy now.
Exactly.
And also just to have a comedy that's hopefully really fucking funny, but also has narrative tension in it, was a big goal. Like, you want to actually be caught up in the plot of the movie as well as, be laughing at the characters at the same time.
The stuff I loved about the overnight was like Jason Schwartzman's character just breaking Adam Scott like out of his shell.
Yeah,
that was like kind of my favorite like aspect of the whole film. Just I don't know. It was like they had that scene where he's like, "I just want to be an artist." And he's like, "You are an artist." That's like, oh, it's just fucking perfect. So.
Yeah, no, those two guys. I mean, I'm surprised that they'd never been put together before. I mean, maybe were they on Parks and Rec?
I'm sure. Yeah, maybe.
At some point.
So good.
But I don't know like how many scenes they had together. But that just ended up being just total kismet. The energy between the two of them, and the fact that Jason's so much shorter than Adam.
That's what's great about it.
Yeah.
What was it like transitioning to working with multiple actors that have worked with probably a lot of directors prior?
Oh, it was totally intimidating. And, I mean, not necessarily coming from them, but in terms of what what expectations I was putting on myself as a director, for sure. It was super intimidating, but I got really lucky, I think, with the personality of all those actors, because they were just so helpful and easy and fun, and I think a lot of sort of the weird specific energy of that movie came from the fact that we shot it all at nighttime, and it was, we were kind of the only people that existed on the planet, and it kind of put everyone in a delirious mood. And I like to think kind of maybe like tricked everyone into thinking that I was a lot more together and professional than I actually am. But it just like any time in my life. I mean, I've had a lot of different experiences where I've kind of not necessarily known what I'm doing, but have jumped into the cold swimming pool anyway and seen what it's like. And so I was basically kind of going off the confidence of that. I was going off the confidence of my own taste, and as I said, like, ability to be self-critical and and think in the moment, which I felt like I had like tangible experiences with on Creep, and then to be able to do that with actors on a movie where we actually we only had 12 days to make that movie, and we were making a lot of changes while we were doing it. I was rewriting scenes before we would go into shoot, and that was just kind of reacting to what we'd filmed so far and what made sense for the characters and what didn't. And so, you're having to be like 110% present the whole time. But it's also a little bit like, I don't know, it's like taking some weird drug or something where you're just, I just felt like I was floating the whole movie,
Right.
And I learned a lot. I learned a lot about writing, especially. I think it's one thing to be sitting by yourself at your computer writing something, or even speaking the words aloud to yourself. But it's another thing to be, on a movie set with actors saying these lines, or in these situations. I mean, there were so many moments where I was frustrated, and I was like, oh, you know what? I have no one to be frustrated at, but me, because I wrote this fucking script,
Yeah.
And so I in those situations, I just was like, okay, well, this is my job to work my way out of, and I have these great resources by having these smart people and these actors that get these characters at this point, and hopefully, together, because film is the most collaborative art form that exists, we can find an emotional logic that makes sense for whatever's going to be happening on screen here,
Mm-hmm.
Which sounds super dry and serious for a movie that has butt things in it,
Yeah.
But that was my like clinical approach to that,
And you said, or that one premiered at Sundance, right?
Yeah, at Sundance 2015.
And you said that was just kind of more like industry vibe, not as like freeing.
Oh no, I mean, I think that I think having a movie like that at well, first of all, going into it, I knew that there were like 4 or 5 other sex comedies that year, including I think 3 or 4 of them had dude on dude action in it. So I was nervous going into it. That the film hadn't, it didn't differentiate itself enough from those other movies. But I think being up there was a huge relief, because it is such a kind of fun, unabashedly fun, breezy movie. It ended up being a nice treat for people, because I think a lot of the movies that are up there are super depressing,
Right.
Indie dramas and stuff. And so, I think it's a movie that if you walk in, sort of furrowing your brow and holding your chin, ready to be skeptical, it's probably not going to be the movie for you. But if you open yourself up to the movie, it's kind of yeah, come party with me. And I think, it was refreshing to have that response to it. And then it was just fun to be able to, have a nice little life with that movie, and the distribution company that bought it did a really great job of they put it out in movie theaters. I never thought that I would be able to have a movie, especially a movie this small, play in movie theaters, and especially in this climate right now, in terms of all the weird avenues that films take in terms of getting out in the world.
Yeah. Oh.
Didn't Creep and The Overnight come out the same weekend? Too?
Yeah, the same week.
That had to. I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, it was. I think Mark took a picture of me at one point and tweeted it out, and it was at the end of our press run, which was a month long of press, and that I was doing on both the movies, and I just look like you can see bags under my eyes, just so tired of talking about these movies. But yeah, it was so it was a little schizophrenic, but it was great. It was it was come on, it's such a gift to be able to have your stuff go out in the world, and then especially with Netflix, to have literally 60 million or however many subscribers Netflix has, to have your film available to 60 million people at one point,
Right.
When in the history of filmmaking has that been a possibility for people, for filmmakers, So it was, yeah. So I, it was like okay. I mean, and also because it had been such a long road with Creep, and because we had a couple false starts. We initially sold the film to another company right out of South by that, just like weren't able to get it together in terms of putting it out in the world, and we ended up going to them and saying, no, can we bring it to Netflix at this point? Which it's that old cliche that things happen for a reason, and that was supposed to happen that way for sure.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to, it kind of it made me look a lot more productive than I actually am, for sure. Because this was the last.
Crazy.
Right, exactly. Like, how did he do this at the same time? It's like, no, dude, that was the last 4 years of my life all coming to fruition in 1 week, and also the fact that there are some similarities for sure, and some deep thematic similarities in both the movies, but they're also in two completely different genres, but I like that, I'm not, I think once again, coming from a background in an experimental film, I'm just, and also like loving, like I love there's, my favorite I have favorite movies in every genre, you know what I mean? Like there's not one that I'm stuck to. Mm-hmm. So I'm willing to sort of find what makes sense for me, and specifically in any genre that I'm working in. Yeah, I love horror movies. Yeah, I love comedies. I'd like to do other stuff. I'm just sort of like taking it as it comes. I mean, because I made a horror movie and a comedy, those are the kind of opportunities that are presenting themselves to me at this point. And that's kind of the path that I'm continuing to go on right now. But we'll see what side roads we end up taking, but that's the plan right now.
Can you talk about Creep 2 at all, or?
I can't. I mean, I can't. I can't say anything specific other than that we're making it, and there's been a couple false starts with this just because we wanted to make sure. First of all, it's like. It feels inherently presumptuous to be making a sequel to a movie that I've already made, just because it's like it presumes that there's an audience for it, right? And I think when we initially sold Creep, there was this idea that it was going to be sold or bought as a trilogy, and we said yes to that, but we said yes to that like not having given any thought to what the second and third movie were.
Yeah.
At that point, you know what I mean? Like it just was that was the best deal that we were getting, and so we said yeah. And then once we didn't have to do that, it's sort of, and also once I started making the overnight, that we sort of tabled it for a bit. But then it just, this movie kind of came out of Mark and I talking about it some more, and coming up with an idea that we both thought was really killer and that we really loved, and also not be. I think one of the things that was another sort of benefit to having both my first and second movie come out at the same time is I'm not like Creep, like I'm not worried about Creep 2 defining me as my next film. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's a good point. Not like it's just a film that I get to make because I'm excited to make it, and I'm working with people that I really love, and it's an opportunity to put something out in the world that I think and that I know an audience does exist for at this point. And so as opposed to feeling like the pressure of having a follow-up, it's like, no, I can always go make another $10,000 movie, and I can always go make another $100,000 movie,
Right.
Because of these movies. I've now, I'm now talking about making much bigger movies, but that hasn't happened yet. And it's a longer path to make that kind of stuff. And so what's cool is that I get to kind of keep playing in the sandbox that I'm used to, while with the goal of making bigger stuff for sure, but keeping this as a constant in terms of just keeping the juices flowing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, aside from Creep 2, is there anything else that we might see in the future? I saw maybe that there's like an upcoming short that you were a part of.
Yeah, well, so I made actually right before we made the Overnight, I co-directed this short called Hang Loose. That's like a very quiet, weird little movie about a surf bum guy, and it's based off my friend Kyle Field, who he stars in it. He's in the band Little Wings. I don't know if you guys have heard of Little Wings, but he actually sings the end credits song in Creep, the sort of the cover, the creepy folk cover of the song that Mark sings.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys stuck it out through the credits, but he also has a cameo in the opening scene of the Overnight. He's the like Silver Lake hipster dad who gives the stank eye to Adam Scott.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's great.
So this movie stars Kyle, who is just like a total character, and so that was produced by these guys called Memory, and it's available on VOD on Vimeo. They have a shorts program that also actually includes a short by Robert Eggers, who made The Witch.
Oh, yes.
Which is really good, and you can't find it any other place. It's this really dark, fucked up film about these two brothers. And there's a couple other really good shorts on there. So if anybody wants to check that out, they can. And I think we're going to release it online at some point too. But it was a lot of fun to make. It's kind of it's kind of like me being able to play, like Sammy, the co-director, co-writer, is a really amazing graphic novelist. He has a series called Crickets, and he also edits the experimental comic anthology Kramer's Ergo. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but he's just like well known. He's like a comic book guy, so it was like fun to be able to make a movie with one of my favorite comic book artists out there, and a close friend. So we'll see what happens with that. And then I'm attached to direct this big Jessica Chastain, Cicely Strong, like female buddy comedy.
I heard about
Plus
that.
One. Yeah. That it looks like we're hopefully going to be making with Lionsgate next year, which would be amazing. It's a script that I really love, and both of those actresses I think are so great, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's just like one of these things where once you're talking about making a multi-million-dollar movie, it's a much bigger ship that you have to steer.
Yeah.
And,
A little scarier.
So it's scarier for sure, but also like just so many factors have to come into play to even get the movie made in the first place. So that's cooking along, but it's actually looking more and more encouraging that's going to be happening next year. So I'm doing Creep 2 right now. After that, I'm going to be directing an episode of this anthology series that the Duplass guys just sold to HBO. I don't know if you guys have seen the announcement.
I read about that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really like it's kind of crazy ambitious what he's doing. Like it's very, besides the fact that it's going to be out on HBO and that the Duplasses are behind it, the actual nuts and bolts filmmaking of it is pretty DIY punk rock. Like it's a bunch of different directors, bunch of different writers, but we're literally all filming on the same set, which is this very rinky-dink set in the in Valley. So it'll be interesting to see what everybody comes up with. But it's playing with that idea of like, again, here's a super contained space. Here's your very limited set of tools. Can you make something that feels like cool and cinematic? Coming out of that.
And that'll be on HBO.
Yeah.
Right, sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You were talking a little bit earlier. You have favorite movies in every genre. What are some of your favorite films?
Oh man, I couldn't resist. I did the, everyone was doing their hashtag Fave7 films on Twitter. Did you guys do that?
I did.
I've seen them. I haven't
yeah,
done
I
it
saw
yet.
people doing them.
It's hard enough for me to get 5.
Yeah, I know.
I know. I'm looking at it right now just because like my memory is so bad. But so my list of my top 7 were Wings of Desire.
Okay.
Just because that was the film that I saw that film when I was 13, and it just like it was like going to church and like the heavens opening up for me. I don't know. It was like watching that movie alone on VHS at age 13 was just huge for me. And then The Shining. Obviously.
yeah.
Come on.
Masterpiece.
Ed Wood, Bottle Rocket,
Oh.
Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, Wet Hot American Summer, and then it was going to be a toss-up for either Jackie Brown or Booty Call, but I ended up going with a documentary. I ended up going with this movie, Los Angeles Plays Itself. Have you guys seen that?
I haven't. No, I haven't heard of that one.
Oh, you got to see it. I believe it's on Netflix. It's a film essay. It's actually by the filmmaker was my main mentor and professor when I was at Cal Arts. But it's the history of how Los Angeles has been depicted on film, and the entire movie. It's 3 hours long. The entire movie is just clips of other movies set in Los Angeles.
That's awesome.
And kind of like you watch this movie and you kind of realize that you've been looking at Los Angeles your entire life if you've been watching a shitload of movies.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it just brings up some stuff that is, I don't know, just kind of mind blowing. So I wholeheartedly recommend it. I don't think, now that I think about it, I would put it in my top 7 though. It would, Jackie Brown is just too dear to my heart of a movie. Do you guys like Jackie Brown?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
I think
do.
it's criminally underrated.
One of the best openings ever.
Very,
yeah.
very Graduate-esque.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, it's just he's able to do all the stuff that he does, but it has so much heart and love in it that I guess it just shows that I'm a sensitive guy. I need that,
I think we
as
all
well
are.
as but I need that as well as people getting shot in the face. And,
Sure. Yeah. Of course.
You need some
and-
sentimentality with your face
Yeah.
shots.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to keep you. I don't want to keep you all day. I do have just 1 or 2 more questions I wanted to ask
Sure.
you.
Absolutely.
This podcast we talk about Richard Linklater quite a bit. Wanted to know if you're a fan of his films. If you've seen Boyhood.
Big time. Are you fucking with me right now?
No,
Or-
we're
No,
like,
this is-
we're like the biggest Boyhood. Yeah.
That's like what we're known for.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I love him, and when I look at directors once you start making stuff and you start thinking about a career trajectory, looking at people like Richard Linklater or Jonathan Demme becomes a lot more appealing,
yeah.
because those are guys who they can kind of make a movie in any genre and they're going to be fine, and or at any budget level, and still be able to come up with something that's creative and cool,
Right.
and interesting, But I like it's Boyhood's a funny movie because I didn't like it when I first watched it. The first time I watched it, there are some glaringly bad, straight up bad moments in that movie. But at the same time, that eclipsed the experience for me watching it the first time, where I was just oh my god, especially some of the later stuff in it. And but then I saw it again with my wife and a couple friends, and I just cried the whole time,
Yeah.
and it was just sort of I accepted the flaws and just let the sort of that just majestic, weird thing that's like that's like happening on a human, cellular level of like literally watching people grow up and what that makes you do in terms of thinking about your own life, obviously, and your loved ones, and like just realizing we're all going to fucking die.
So do you have your Boyhood Criterion pre-ordered yet, or
I don't know, man. That's a movie. Like, I don't know how often I'm going to watch that movie. I'll probably watch it every 10 years or so.
Or 12.
Yeah. 12. What about the Before trilogy?
Oh, that's where those are those that's my favorite. Absolutely. And it's funny because I was worried. I hadn't seen the first one in a long time, and I watched it again recently. I was like, oh fuck, is this going to be pretentious 90s like Ethan Hawke mansplain the whole movie, and he is, but that's kind of the character at the same time too, right? And so but it's magic. It's pure magic, those movies. Oh my god,
Ethan Hawke is magic.
Yeah,
I mean, just that progression of time throughout all his films, really. But I mean, the Before trilogy in particular, if you see Ethan Hawke in there, and then in Before Midnight, it's like mind blown.
Crazy.
Yeah, no, there's so, and especially Before Midnight, there's like so much pathos in that movie, and it's like so unexpectedly dark, in a really great, honest way. I think School of Rock is an excellent movie too. Like, I mean, that's a movie I could watch any day and enjoy. And like, I think it's such a, if he's going to be making movies for studios, like, God bless him, that they be movies like that,
Right.
Yeah.
And actually his probably one of his least liked movies is one that I've seen the most and actually dig, and that's Suburbia. And I think
they're going to say Bad News Bears.
No, I can't. I mean, no. Like, why do? Like, just watch the original. Like, I like Billy Bob Thornton just fine, but that didn't do it for me. But Suburbia is cool because, like, I mean, that movie's it's based on a play, So I think taking that into account from the get-go, that it is more theatrical in its pacing, and I think it's helpful. I think if you're watching that movie for realism, you're not going to have a good time. But just getting to see, like, I love Nicky Katt. I think he's such an interesting actor, and so dark and fucked up and funny, and so it's just nice to. There was a time where he was kind of having his moment. He's not really in. He's like, he always plays the cop in Christopher Nolan movies now. You notice that? No. He's like the cop who dies in The Dark Knight, and then he's a cop in Insomnia.
That's right. Yeah, he is. Stereotypical cop.
Yeah, but he's like someone you just want to, like, in terms of like mean guys on screen, you just want to have him, like, just the joy of like that guy chewing someone out. Oh, in Boiler Room too, he does a great job of that.
Oh yeah, Boiler Room's great.
Which is have you seen it recently?
No, I'm sure
like 2 years ago, probably.
Vin Diesel, baby.
Vin Diesel's great though. He's great.
Yeah, he is. No, sure. Yeah, he's really good in it.
Yeah. But there's like the scene where which I remember really loving initially, but like the scene where he's Giovanni Ribisi is like admitting to his dad that what he did and that he screwed up, and he's like crying. It's just so over the top. He's like, "Dad, I fucked up, like, oh god,
yeah,
let's take it down a notch, just a notch, man."
The tears.
Yeah.
The last question I had for you, though, I just wanted to ask: do you have any advice for young aspiring filmmakers?
Yeah, I mean, I think the main piece of advice is really, don't be afraid to show the worst version of whatever you're making to smart people that you trust and get honest feedback from, and whether that's on the writing stage or when you're editing, or even when you think you're done. I just think if I can point to one thing that's been like super crucial for me in my development as a filmmaker, it's been, the ability to surrender my ego and sort of accept what's not working, and then force myself to come up with a creative solution to fix it, because it's not fun at all. It sucks. It's the worst. It's like it's good medicine. It's like eating your vegetables a little bit, and it's only going to make whatever you're making that much better.
Yeah.
And I think at the same time, it's not saying like take everything people are saying to heart, but if you're showing your movie to 10 people and 9 of them point to the same moment, then that moment is indeed an issue that you need to work on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So and also like hopefully being able to share it with people who you're getting more of a you get less of an emotional response and more of a pointed. Here's what wasn't working for me. Here's some ideas or solutions to potentially make it work, or maybe spark something in you to come up with a fix for it.
That's actually really good advice, though.
Yeah.
Like I said before, we're all pretty much filmmakers now. So, one last question I wanted to ask. I told you earlier. I shut up. I told you earlier off air that we're all from different locations, and like I told you, we're going to probably be meeting up. We only have one opportunity to meet up. What do you think the best thing we should do before making this short film? It's like since we're not all in the same area, it's hard to concept.
We have limited time.
Right, limited time, limited everything.
Have you written the script already?
Working on the outline right now.
Okay. I would just really be mindful of like how much time you have to make it, and like how many locations you have to shoot it in, and just don't try to bite off more than you can chew. Like really try to make something that works. It's funny because like it's not necessarily like what I planned on influencing my filmmaking, but you just look at like what Mark and Jay Duplass did with their first short. This is John.
Exactly.
Have you guys seen that?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
It's so great and so inspired, and it's literally just them sitting around, and then they had this idea, and then they picked up a camera and filmed it. And I'm not saying that like whatever you guys are going to make needs to be that small. Like I still think you should be ambitious about it, especially now, just because there's so many people wanting to make film.
Mm-hmm.
But shine a light on that one thing that makes whatever you guys are making unique, and I think it'll come through.
That's
awesome.
Fucking great.
You guys aren't the cinema scumbags. You guys are the cinema gentlemen.
Cinema sweethearts, I'd say.
Yeah. So, scumbags is false advertising.
It is.
I think that's not the first time we've heard that.
Yeah.
But no, I really appreciate having you on the show.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't know what more I can say. I think it was a great episode.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for being interested. It was a total pleasure.
Yeah, I hope to maybe have you back whenever Creep 2's rolling out or something.
Absolutely. Awesome. Anytime.
Well, really appreciate it. All you guys out there who haven't seen Creep or The Overnight, both available on Netflix. Make sure you guys check them out.
All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed listening to that. Awesome stuff, man. I wish I could have been a part of it. Patrick seems like a good dude.
Oh, I know. Great
Stand
guy. He said he'd come back whenever, Creep 2's rolling around.
He likes Boyhood.
Yeah. Big Boyhood guy.
Yeah, make sure you guys check out the films that Patrick Bryce did, The Overnight and Creep, available on Netflix.
Yeah, if you didn't know anything about him and you were just listening to this without knowing who he was, hope you, learned some stuff about him. Pretty fascinating dude. So thanks, Patrick. So, that being said,
There is
Back
some
to our
other
regularly scheduled programming.
yeah.
there is some sad news in the Star Wars family. Seth, are you depressed about this one?
Oh, yeah.
R.I.P. Kenny Baker.
Who's this?
He was he played
R2.
R2D2.
Oh,
the original films. I think they actually had him for a little bit, just so he could be in it one last time.
I mean, this is sad. Anytime someone dies is sad, but let's be honest, they can just throw another midget in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean,
But he was the midget, other than Warwick Davis.
Oh, I love that guy.
Did he make those noises?
I can't confirm that, but he may or may not have.
Well, he will be.
Well,
missed.
at least the guy lived long enough to see Star Wars come back into
True.
the spotlight. Because I mean, fuck, it's more popular now than it's ever been. So
Well, yeah, and so positively. Like, just imagine if it happened back when the new trilogy came out.
right, he saw the original. He was there for the original. Hype around it, and then he sat through the shitty, prequel phase.
Yep.
And he got to see it come back into, big time. So, not a big Star Wars guy myself, but rest in peace.
I'm sure the guy lived a great life. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
So, and he had a great send off with that. I guess being, I think he got his cameo in the last Star
Dude,
Wars. So,
anytime that guy met someone, he automatically just dropped, "Yeah, I was R2D2." I mean, fuck.
yeah, and it's like it's like mic drop.
yeah. I mean, nobody's gonna fucking compare to that. So,
Right.
there's a lot of Star Wars fans out there.
You will
Well,
be missed.
Hopefully we'll bring back Hayden Christensen, and the series will come back.
Oh, God.
No
Well,
fans?
Has he done anything recently?
Coke?
Not since Jumper.
Yeah, Jumper about
Not since
11 years ago.
You know something though? We talk about Hayden Christensen for a second. I'm a big fan of the guy. He did a
course.
film called, of course. I was gonna, I was gonna talk about
Big
some
fan.
movie that he was in. but-
What was that?
he was in this movie called. That's it. It's called Shattered Glass.
God.
Sorry.
Sounds like a
Big
hardcore
fan,
band.
I'd say.
No, it's been a while since I've seen it. It was a film from 2003. It's actually a true life story about this journalist guy that was making up stories, and they, he's like putting them in these big papers, and they busted him. A great film, really highly reviewed. But I like Hayden Christensen. Star Wars shit aside, also in a great episode of Goosebumps back in the day, Night of the Living Dummy Part 3.
Part 3.
You know
Really-
entirely way too fucking much about Hayden
Yeah,
Christensen.
I'm a big fan of the guy. God, I wish fuck, you get in those Star Wars, those shitty Star Wars prequels, and your career is just fucking ruined.
Well,
See-
he played Bob Dylan in Factory Girl, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody saw that one.
Nope.
Really illustrious career so far.
Hayden, come back. I miss you. I don't know if anyone else does.
Jump off a cliff instead.
Yeah.
He jumped right off a cliff.
I wish you would step back from the ledge, my friend.
Christian.
For
But,
real though, that is the best episode of Goosebumps. Though, fucking creepy as hell.
Matt,
Okay.
do you know his hairstylist?
I probably do.
Speaking of creepy, got a new photo of Pennywise's full outfit.
He looks like Shakespeare. What the fuck are you
Yeah, he
talking
looks
about?
like a jester. A jester.
What do you think about this?
I'm not into it.
No,
I am.
I'm not.
I think
I'm
it's
really into it.
creepy.
Are they
You know?
going like back to the 80s or is this present day? Do we know that yet?
It looks like they're going back to the 1640s.
I know.
It's it. In the
George, dost thou
Dost thou murder the
dost thou all
children?
floateth down here?
Yes. In this version, Georgie drowns in a moat and not
Thou'st all float down here, Georgie. Thou'st
something?
do.
Look, there's a very loyal fan base to that story. I personally have not read the book. I know a lot of people though that have read the book. From what I was reading, the feedback has been pretty good. Like, I think the way that that's portrayed, or that Pennywise is portrayed in the original miniseries, is kind of different from the book. But I don't know. I haven't read the source material, but to me, there's no point if if you're gonna remake it or reboot it.
Change
Don't
it.
do this. Yeah, put this guy. They're putting their own twist on it.
Right.
Fuck,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious. I think it looks.
He looks
think-
more like demonical, like kind of,
Yeah.
like
Demonical.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious what to see. Whenever they get some actual stills out instead of this concept art.
Yeah, like these are like publicity shots. It'll be one thing when you see him like on set or actually in the movie. I'm gonna have to guess. So this is gonna have to be CGI heavy as shit. And I really didn't think, because there's a lot of shitty stop motion effects in the original miniseries.
Yeah.
Like,
you ever
it
see
looks-
the Incredibles?
Yeah.
What, the Pixar movie?
Yeah.
Long
You
time
know
ago.
the evil guy that looks like his hair. Like he has his hair. Google it.
No,
Weird.
I mean, I'm like excited to see more about this project. There's a
Trailer.
great fan page, Stephen King's It remake on Facebook, where whoever runs it, I don't know if they are like working directly with what's going on, but I mean they just stay posting every little tidbit of information and pictures, and I don't know, it's looking pretty proud. I mean, I'm excited for it, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it looks.
I want to
it's
see
different, which is it's good.
I'm sitting here saying remakes should be different, but Rob Zombie tried that with Halloween, and that was fucking ass. So I can
it.
just.
But I get why it didn't work. At least he tried it. Like I get it.
So I don't know. No matter what, people can. He isn't Tim Curry. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
It annoys me though. People don't realize that the original sucks.
It does. It's not.
It ain't
good.
Halloween. It's not a Nightmare on
no,
Elm Street.
no. Mm-mm.
Speak-
It's cheesy as fuck.
It's terrible.
Talking about Tim Curry, do you know he's making a cameo in that like Rocky Horror Picture Show thing they're doing on Fox?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's he like, narrator or something?
I don't
No,
know.
I-
All I've seen him is sitting behind a desk.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was wondering. What they're gonna have him do, because he can only do so much now.
Yeah.
He's pretty rough nowadays.
Looks like he might be
I
some.
was-
Good.
I was just surprised to even see him at all after seeing that picture about 8 months ago. Him slouched over in a wheelchair.
Actually, like I think it was a couple months ago, he did like his very first like convention appearance ever.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah, and there was like people, like, hashtag Tim Curry on Instagram. It was like tons of people posting pictures of him at this convention. But I don't know. Sucks the guy had a stroke, but
It's depressing to see an actor who was like always had such lively and like bouncing
Right.
around characters, just something like that happens and is done. It's just not the
I
same
have
person.
I have no thoughts on Rocky Horror Picture Show. I know the whole tranny joke that surrounds me, but I've never seen the original, so
It's good.
whatever. Yeah, I mean I've never watched it.
Yeah, I mean, I had when I was younger. It was really weird then.
It's got a tremendous cult following though.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But another movie that it's kind of a cult movie, Monster Squad. You guys seen this?
No, I never seen it.
Watched this for the first time last year.
Enjoy
It's
it?
pretty good.
I thought it was great. If you're a fan of those 80s adventure movies, you like The Goonies, if you like Stranger Things, which I haven't watched yet, this is right up that sort of, same
Vibe.
thing going on there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've always heard. I've heard Monster Squad's compared to the Goonies. That was Shane Black had written that. It's the guy that came up with the Lethal Weapon, directed The Nice Guys earlier this year.
Fuck. Again, we were talking about him. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but I always thought he was like a 20-something years old. This guy's fucking he's been around, man.
Yeah. Well,
I was heard Shane Black and thought he was like a younger dude.
he's came out and talked about possibility of maybe a sequel to that. I don't know if you think it would work at all. They sound like
Oh.
they're trying to go.
What sequel has worked? Honestly.
Yeah,
True.
I think they're definitely like trying to do the Goonies route thing, though.
I mean, I think it would have to be the whole thing with that movie. Again, I've only seen it once. I know there's some big fans of it, but like it's all these universal monsters that are like running around the city. I don't even remember how it comes to that, but
That actually sounds pretty awesome.
yeah, it's fucking dope. There's like Dracula and shit, but I would guess if they were going to do another one, it would probably be a whole different, just be a different group of kids and the same monsters. I don't fucking know. I don't know how you would do that.
Or like the newer monsters.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
And
Yes.
he also had said that the possibility of maybe instead of a sequel to the original, they remake it, and then there's like a sequel to the story from there. Like they make a little thing out of it.
So it's like a reboot and then a sequel.
Yeah.
No, it's fun. It's one of those that like people haven't seen for some reason. I mean, it's not the Goonies, but it is pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, I definitely gonna try and check that out in
Yeah.
October for sure.
Good, kind of Halloween Universal Monsters thing going on there.
What about Bacon?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Bacon.
Kevin?
I'm looking at our information sheet right here. This has got me
Hard.
little intrigued. Yeah, something like that. What the hell's going on?
Well, what's
That's what I was
going
waiting
on?
for
Somebody
that.
explain what's going on.
Okay, well, basically, I think it's not okay, Kevin Bacon has expressed interest in playing Freddy Krueger in a reboot.
Okay.
Why?
No, I think what happened, I don't know exactly. I should have researched this, but I think someone maybe tweeted him or asked him a question about it.
Yeah, that's
Someone
right.
said, like, you should play Freddy Krueger, and he said, I like the way you think, or something like that. It's very, like, minimal, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of a story out of nothing, but
Yeah, no studios have approached him, but yeah, I think he's made like almost, or a couple like tweets about it now. So
Kevin Bacon is, he's a good fucking villain. Good bad guy.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Hollow Man.
Oh, yeah.
That's some creepy shit.
Are they? Is A Nightmare on Elm Street? Is that another reboot
don't-
happening?
I don't even think one's
Sure.
happening right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, it is now.
I'm sure they have plans for it.
I thought I read something, maybe a year ago that they were going to do that. I mean, the remake that came out, fucking Jackie Earl Haley.
Woof.
Yeah.
Don't you like it though?
Yeah, he does like it.
For some reason, I thought it was okay. It's not the original,
A little bit.
but,
Fuck, Freddy.
but nobody likes that movie. I haven't heard anyone else say that. Yeah, it was pretty good. Everyone just shits on that.
Fucking Rooney Mara, dumb bitch. In that movie.
Aren't they supposed to be high schoolers? They all look
Yeah.
fucking 35. No, that movie was pretty fucking dark and disturbing. Like, I'm pretty sure we've talked about this before, but in the original, he's not. They don't come out and say that he's like a child molester. It's just kind of implied. In this remake, he's a full blown fucking pedo, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
It's pretty fucked.
Oh.
No, Jack your hood or Jackal.
What?
I'm not a fan of whoever you just said.
He was in, what is it, Little Children or whatever the fucking movie
No,
was.
Jackie Earl Haley fans.
Yeah,
I like him. Yeah,
he's
I
great
feel
as
like-
Rorschach and Watchmen.
Just
Yeah.
not as Freddy.
Phenomenal in
So
Bad News
little.
Bears.
But I don't know, Kevin Bacon might be good.
Yeah, well,
Flash
you know what?
Dance or whatever. What was it?
I know it's
Footloose?
Robert Englund could do it one more time, couldn't he?
I don't know.
I don't know what he looks like now, but well, yeah. I mean, he was in Hatchet. That
Yeah, I
was-
mean he's an older guy, but
Yeah,
he's
but
that old.
all he did was sit in a boat.
Yeah, with Josh Leonard from Blair Witch Project.
You mean the Blair Witch is fake?
Nah, I mean I don't know, man. Fuck.
I don't know, dude. I mean, I'm gonna see Kevin Bacon as
I don't know. I kind of see him as he
I think
kind
it'd
of
be
looks
cool.
like Freddy.
Yeah, he's he's like I said, he's a good villain. I think he could really.
He just wants to complete his like 6 degrees of separation by doing this movie.
Good man.
Completed it.
He's gonna get real into character.
I don't know.
Nobody will ever
You know,
see him again.
If that doesn't happen, let Robert Englund do it one more time. That'd be fucking sick.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
an
it would
actual, all those shitty sequels he was in to Nightmare on Elm Street. I guarantee you a remake would be better than pretty much all those sequels.
Yeah.
Can we get the Paper Brigade 2 with Gunther back,
Oh, God.
please?
He'd
Damn.
probably do it too.
Shit.
Paintball's still in.
Gunther.
Classic. But another, we talked about some trailer trash, right?
The great
Rouge
Des-
one.
Tennessee. Gunther, your dad called. Let's take you out for ice cream.
That kid's life's gonna be full of disappointment. He's a foot short for his age, and he's cross-eyed.
Okay, keep going. Sorry to
It's
go
all
back.
we had a big trailer drop this week. I think it premiered at the during the Olympics ceremony last week. Star Wars Rogue One, the feature.
Oh,
Trailer.
I see Star Wars Rouge one here in our notes.
Rouge.
Moulin Rouge 1.
There's a little typo error,
Rouge. Good God.
but yeah, I don't know if you guys saw the trailer. I was a little underwhelmed. I thought the first trailer
I
was a
agree.
lot better.
Yeah, I
Well,
agree.
which is funny because after that trailer, they had to do reshoots because I guess it wasn't good enough.
Wait, is
Okay.
James Earl Jones in this?
I think
Supposedly.
yeah.
Yeah, his voice is.
He's voicing Vader.
Man, he's
but
like
he-
90.
The last shot was like Vader, so
What is this? A prequel to all of them?
it's
so it's. Go ahead.
have you seen the originals, right?
Yeah.
Princess Leia has like the plans to destroy the Death Star.
Yeah, sure.
This is about the people that got those plans.
Oh my God.
Good, because we need to know that.
It's about the
We need-
people that took
we
out
need
their
a
trash that night and listened to the.
Fuck, you know something. I know, huge Star Wars fans all over. I get it, okay, but this is going on a bad path, man. They're doing all these fucking movies, Rogue One, and then they're doing those Han Solo fucking movies.
Yeah.
Enough. You're gonna be sick of it. I promise you. You're gonna be sick of it.
I know.
Well, they're not sick of
Probably.
superhero movies yet, so.
Oh, but I
Yeah,
think
that's
people
been
are
going
getting.
on for a decade.
I
Like-
don't know. I think people are getting to that point, man.
No, and I can agree with that. I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of people who are starting to get, and I think it's just because they're not making as high
Good
quality
ones.
ones as they
That's
were.
why.
And, you know, and maybe not so much like the casual weekend moviegoers, you know, the families or whatever. They'll go see that shit. But like, you know, the guys that, you know, are kind of like deeper into fucking movies and shit are kind of fed up with it. I don't know.
Right.
It's kind of the vibe I'm getting from it.
Right. And that's what I've said before. If it's a good movie, I'll watch it, whatever it is. But most of these things
Yeah.
are turning into crap.
Right.
And I hate that thing of like, oh God, let's do 3 movies now about young Han Solo. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, it's always like
Really?
yeah, it's like a
Fuck
franchise.
off.
Let's franchise this. Let's franchise
Yeah,
that.
we
Well-
don't need a trilogy for everything.
Well, I am interested in seeing this, you know, but the trailer for this one just didn't do it for me.
Is
The-
this supposed to be standalone or is this a trilogy?
I believe it's standalone.
Okay.
But I
Man.
mean, I don't know the deep fucking what's all going on with the Star Wars news, but you know, this is the next one's coming out.
Next
could be-
year is.
It could be bad, it could be good, who
Yeah.
knows.
Oh yeah, when is the next episode? That's next
That
year.
next year.
Next December.
2017 or 20? Yeah.
Yeah, next December.
So is that going to be the model like every 2 years? Is that it?
Mm-hmm. And
Oh,
then in
it's-
between, they're gonna do a regular Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh my God! You know I don't
We're getting
approve.
Star
of it.
Wars every year, buddy.
I get it though, man. Like Disney, you know they bought that shit and they're just fucking hammering it, man.
Star
Why
Wars
not?
Land is going to
Why-
Disneyland.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you? I get it.
I had actually read today Ryan Johnson, the director of Star Wars Episode 8, just started like editing today.
Huh.
Oh,
So you got to
God.
think like it's coming out December 2017.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's
Wow.
already been shot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do they? Yeah, I read that picks up like right where the last one did. Like that's where it starts. There is no time in between.
Oh yeah, I know the spot you're talking about, the one you spoiled for me. Thanks.
Sorry, I'll sell my mic.
I mean, I'm curious about the
Shut
episode.
Shut the fuck
I'm curious about the episode ones. I liked the newest one that came out, and you know, it's these little standalone ones that they're going off and making that I'm not really too big on.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, though, I just think that kind of ruins the imagination aspect of it. You know,
Right.
not everything has to be shown to a viewer.
True.
That's kind of the fun of it. You know, where you're left to make your
They
own.
just want to make money.
decision. Oh yeah, that's what it's a business.
Well, I got something that you might get jizz-worthy over.
Yeah, you didn't comment in the
Kier
chat.
Gilchrist's
Oh.
latest film, The Good Neighbor.
I'm
I
into it.
couldn't comment because I fucking passed out, fainted. Excitement.
From pure pleasure.
Yeah.
I got
It
to
was
admit,
the
The
best
orgasm
orgasm
that
of
you
my
had?
I like the movie. I think it looks good.
yeah, me
It was the
too.
greatest orgasm of my life.
I don't know.
James
Look.
Caan looks fucking great.
James Caan,
Yeah.
Keir Gilchrist, that's a dream team.
Yeah,
Been waiting a long
said
time.
one person ever.
Been waiting a long time for that. I thought it looked fucking cool, man. Original.
Yeah.
Original.
That's the vibe I got too. Original.
Yeah, kind of had that Rear Window psycho.
Yeah, what is going on? Okay, it seems like they're setting him up to make it
They
look like
prank-
his house
yeah.
is haunted.
Yeah, like they do pranks maybe, like in a they choose
Yeah.
him to do it, and for
Plot
some reason
twist,
he
something
doesn't.
goes wrong. Yeah,
Like
he
he's
doesn't-
cool with it, or I don't know what it is, but it's
Well, I
weird.
mean, he's in a courtroom at the beginning, so what do you think happens?
Oh well, yeah.
Oh,
his,
okay.
his friend probably dies.
It's
saying.
found footage, courtroom horror.
with Kier Gilchrist.
Dude, Keir Gilchrist is fucking awesome. I
It's
love that
it's
guy.
a winning combination for anyone.
Shit.
No, I gotta admit, I think this one looks like a good time.
Yeah.
Like
Hell
Seth
yeah.
said, original.
A solid flip.
No, I dug this.
Yep. And then, did you guys see the trailer for Robert Zemeckis' latest film, Allied, with
Missed
Brad
this
Pitt,
one.
Brad Pitt and Marion Cotillard?
What is this
Saw,
about?
pictures of it.
Some fucking Cold War shit. I'm like, when are these
Oh.
guys gonna realize like no one cares about the Cold War no more?
Can
Well,
we
Bridge of
stop
Spies
making-
won some Oscars, so until that stops happening.
Have you
There you
seen
go.
that?
Bridge of Spies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was alright, boring, but the
Bridge of
Boring.
Spies.
good movie.
Boring as hell, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if I even want to try watching that again. That was tough to get through. I like Zemeckis. He's a, I don't know.
He's
got
a
some
hack.
really good one. Yeah, he's got some really good ones, and it's some that you don't need to talk about ever again.
Like,
But-
I mean, he's just really going downhill. If you guys do get a chance to check this trailer out, just pay attention to Brad Pitt's acting. I swear, real fucking Bohemian Grove type, or mind control,
What?
like that Bill Clinton mind control video. Swear, same.
So he just has a blank expression.
It's
Yeah.
really bad. I just can't even. I
Been
don't
doing a little too many Malik movies or what?
get something.
One
It's,
is too much.
Peanut brain. He can't think
One.
straight.
His filmography is, I don't know, it's unique because he's got some really good ones, and
Right.
Yeah.
Flunkers.
then you got The Walk thrown in there and other bullshit.
Yep. Oh, the walk. Ugh. What about this trailer? I'm fucking down with.
I
Don't
agree.
Breathe. Did you guys see this? The Red Band trailer for that film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one is this?
I think it's cool. It's all right.
It's the one with the
where
blind
they-
guy, and they
yeah,
go
they
in to rob
plan-
him.
Yep.
It's from the director of the Evil Dead remake and stars the chick from Evil Dead remake.
Ah,
I
Didn't
think
see it.
I think the trailer makes it look like a whole different movie than I was expecting, in a good way.
I think it looks fucking great. It's getting like really good reviews. But basically, yeah, the three kids try to rob the blind fucking army guy, and it's like it looks fucking crazy.
Like does he
realistic.
lock him in the house, right? Like he locks him in their house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The trailer was like Hitchcock on crack.
Well, and it's like that Hush movie, but with a blind guy instead of a deaf girl.
oh,
there you go.
that's the new home invasion with
I
disabilities.
kind of get like the green room / like Hush vibe to it.
Next, it's going to be a Down syndrome guy getting his house robbed.
Oh my god. What? Okay, I was gonna make a joke.
No, go for it. I was going to as
I
well.
was gonna be like, what are you doing here? Get out of my house.
Just when you think you couldn't get any scummier on this podcast,
Matt goes to that level.
I don't.
know-
I don't edit anymore. If you say something, it's it.
Me likes movies at Twitter.
You guys know that we're the real scumbags.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh.
But
yeah.
I guess that's it for trailers. But we do have some huge fucking news in the
Huge.
Blu-ray
Oh
world.
my god.
Blu-rays are coming out. Movies.
I'm gonna come.
The Criterions have been announced that'll be released in November.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a couple good
What do we got?
Let's just go ahead and start off with the big one. I think one that we've all been waiting for hasn't really ever been released on Blu-ray. Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah, to me, these are the best. The ones that they release that haven't been released before, like there's
Yeah.
no Blu-ray of that, so that's like that's
Yeah.
ultimate,
Hot
Yeah.
commodity.
And I think we've talked about multiple times that this one needed a Criterion release.
Yeah,
so
that movie. I'm ashamed to say that's the only PTA film I've seen, but I fucking thought it was great the one time I watched it.
It's a
So I'll
good
probably
one
be
to
grabbing
have
that.
seen, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad that they're finally starting to do.
Don't you think it's weird though? Like, I know it's a good movie, but like that they would choose that over some of his other ones.
Well, I think because it didn't have a Blu-ray.
Sure,
I think-
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I-
definitely like, Criterion like tries to save films, and that's one that probably would, out of his filmography.
Yeah, I'll be grabbing that. Wasn't too high on the cover art, but it's about the movie and not the artwork, so yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder how they pick them. Like, it seems like they pick a couple old ones and then they pick a couple newer ones. So I wonder if it's like that sort of system as far as picking, because I'm just
Sure.
curious where they pick what they pick.
I'm sure they have a huge fucking list, and they're just like,
Yeah.
okay, you ready to put this one out?
Yeah.
Probably depending on what they get the rights to as well.
Yeah, like,
that's
let's-
probably 90% of it.
Yeah, like let's see if we can acquire this one, and I'm sure who knows.
Let's see if we can
Uh,
get PTA to come in and do a commentary
Right.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm big on the supplements on those Criterions. It bothered me a little bit. There's like no new interviews with PTA or anything. There's really
Oh, they I didn't know they already released all that shit.
it
what's
just
on
says
there?
on Blu-ray.com. They 4K digital transfer. There's a new interview with Brian, which is the guy that scored the film. There's a 12-minute short film by PTA featuring Adam Sandler and Emily Watson.
Well, that's kind of cool.
No
Yeah.
commentary?
No.
That's
Damn.
kind of
There's
shitty.
There's no new conversations with anybody that acted in it or PTA.
Mm.
I guess you're getting the Blu-ray.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's true.
pretty much getting mainly the recycled stuff from the DVD special edition.
Can't
But
fucking. I had that DVD. I don't know where the fuck it went, man. It was it's a nice DVD set.
Mhm.
yeah, I got that one for cheap.
have that one.
So
Yeah, Big Lots, baby, $2.
I always waited to, because I figured eventually it had to be coming to Blu-ray.
Yep.
Adam Sandler's best work.
Next up,
Yeah.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape will be coming. It's not coming out, but will be. Didn't mean.
Oh, I thought you were talking about us coming out. Well, thanks for that.
Nope.
Some premature ejaculation there.
Yeah.
Punch Drunk Love, November 15th will be gets released. Another pretty big one in my eyes. It's only ever been released on like a double pack on Blu-ray. Stupid. The Squid and the Whale.
Oh, this one doesn't come with Running with Scissors?
It probably comes on the features.
The menu system or whatever it has.
Okay, look, I know you guys are big fans, and I watched it, I liked it. Is this a title that needs the Criterion treatment? I don't know.
Noah Baumbach is that kind of
I think
guy,
it looks
though.
like a Criterion. It vibes like that.
It does, but you know their whole like motto is working to preserve important films or something like that. That's their tagline. Right. Does this fall into that? I don't know.
Yeah,
tell me.
I think Noah Baumbach's like really tight with Criterion. You know, he did Fantasy. Like I always see him popping up on like supplements on random shit, like of him just talking about the film or something. You know?
Oh yeah, he's on that My Dinner with Andre, the conversation between those two guys. Like
Is he really?
Yeah, he like interviewed him.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing. He did the same thing with De Palma, so it seems like he just tries to get in with whoever he can get in with.
Yeah, no, I thought that was a good movie. I mean, I don't know, I might. Because I paid like $2 for that fucking double pack, that was something that'd be something I would probably, reacquire.
There are on that new interviews with Baumbach and Jeff Daniels, Jesse Eisenberg, all the actors.
Okay,
one of Jeff Daniels' best movies.
I love Jeff Daniels, man. He's fucking great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like in the serious roles. He's good.
Yeah.
Then we got, I don't know if you guys have heard of One-Eyed Jack's Marlon Brando movie.
Brando West.
He directed that too.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, see, I haven't seen this. It kind of looked boring as hell to me, but
not my typical genre. But that I would probably try and watch that. I don't know, just because it's what it is.
Yeah, young Brando, like you really can't go wrong. But and then another one I've heard about quite a bit, but never. Let's get its Criterion release finally. Dreams, Akira Kurosawa's film from.
I think that's one of his later ones.
Yeah, that's it. Looks like the making of's from 1990, so maybe.
Oh, that might be like his last. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, but it's supposedly, I guess, about like. I thought it was something about like all the dreams he ever had in his life, and he like made a movie about them or something.
Shit!
Wow,
really
sounds trippy.
Weird. But
sounds like House.
Oh, hope it's not as shitty as that. Worst movie ever.
No.
That's pretty much the bigger releases that are getting the treatment.
Matt said it best. We're gonna have a great Criterion video.
Oh yeah,
We really are.
Stoked for that Punch
Unless
Drunk.
there's only one copy of Punch Drunk Love, and then we're all.
Oh my god!
Gotta go to 4 different stores.
You only got one BNN out there?
No, we got a couple, and the big one's good. It's got lots.
Gotta go to Hillcrest.
Is there a Barnes & Noble at Joshua Tree?
Yeah, that's it for the Criterions. I know you guys probably don't really care, but Star Wars Force Awakens 3D's getting a Blu-ray release. I don't give a fuck about the 3D.
Well,
why
Why
did the 3D just come out when the fucking movie came out?
Exactly, and I think that's the thing. A lot of people made a big deal that it wasn't coming out in 3D, and I forgot, honestly, until I saw this. But it's a big deal to some.
The big thing for me is there's going to be like a commentary with J.J. Abrams, like that's something I would like to listen to myself, but
I get it.
It's not on the original release. It's fucking stupid.
That is stupid.
Really? So they, if you went out and bought the Blu-ray day one, you get stiffed out of the best fucking special feature.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Well, that's how they're going to get you to buy the 3D.
I ain't buying it, but that's the only reason I wanted to mention it, so I could bitch how fucking stupid that is.
That is bullshit.
But
great job, Disney.
I thought that
real
gimmick
great
died.
job, Disney.
I thought that 3D shit would have died out by now, man. Do people fucking sit at home watch 3D movies?
Yeah, like Zootopia.
It's just so clever.
can't name anybody, honestly, that I know. I don't.
I don't. I mean, I have one, and I don't think I've used it in like a year.
Gives me a fucking headache.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't like wearing glasses.
Yeah, I can't even tell you the last 3D movie I saw, man.
But that's pretty much it for new Blue News, new pre-orders. But what do you guys got for the releases?
All right, so a couple
Anything?
things. Yeah, actually, a couple things this week. Coming to Blu-ray August 23rd, we got The Nice Guys.
Oh,
I actually might be picking this one up.
that's a
I
day
know you
one
guys
for
are
me.
both. Yeah, you guys are both fans of it, so
I can't remember the last time I went out and bought something day one.
Fuck, I know, no shit. Maybe The Revenant for me? I don't know.
Damn.
oh shit. Yeah, me too. I think shit.
Yeah, it was definitely The Revenant.
So if it's cheap enough, I'll jump on that. Was it
And not watch
Huntsman?
it for 2 years?
Yeah, well, of course. That's what I do. It's like a wine. I got to age it, or like a cheese.
Oh, I
I
see,
gotta
I
let it
see.
sit for a while.
I see.
Huntsman.
Snervous or The Nice Guys?
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
All these great movies that I haven't seen yet. Oh, I think I'm gonna go with Human Centipede 3. That Brie Olsen, her acting. Whew.
I was curious.
Getting tired.
Bye,
Let's
Curious.
curl up and
Bye,
watch some
Curious.
Human Centipede.
Hey, you know what? I support your decisions, buddy.
Thanks, pal. Well, maybe you might want to see The Huntsman, Winter's War, because that's coming out.
What is
No.
that? Is that Sean Bean?
Is it?
No.
No, I
Is
just
that
making
the
that up.
sequel to that
Sequel to the shitty Snow White with
Oh, Kristen Stewart and Thor.
yeah. That's come. I didn't even see that in theaters. Didn't even know it
I
was
got
coming
that.
out.
Oh, I want. You know,
No
I
one,
haven't watched
no one else did either.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
I own that movie, but I haven't seen it yet.
So that one's sitting on your shelf for 2 years, eh?
That's a dude. Next time I come by, you're gonna trade some shit in. Get rid of some of that stuff.
I don't even remember why I fucking bought that or where I got that from. Who knows?
Got it for free, probably.
Well, I might have went out day one and bought it.
Oh my god.
Anybody huge Ratchet and Clank fans?
No.
No.
Well, then you won't be surprised that the movie's coming out.
I wasn't
else?
surprised that it's got
It's still
really
around, I
shitty
don't-
reviews too.
Dude, the movie just looks like the video game. It's like a cutscene.
Oh,
That is probably what they did then.
Oh yeah, it's just the CGI that it just looks like the game.
let's
I
just
don't-
make a third of the game.
Yeah, I don't fucking get it. I never got into Ratchet and Clank. 'Cause I'm more of a Crash guy myself.
Well, I like
Jack,
Crash.
Jack and Daxter, you know. Ratchet and Clank. Shit,
Rocket?
Jack and Dax. Oh, I remember that.
yeah, like shit's butt. I don't want to play that shit.
And then we have Eli Roth's Clown is coming out.
Oh my
It's
god.
rare.
Eli
I've
Roth,
watched for like 5 years.
Eli Roth is a clown, okay? That fucking shit. We don't want to watch that. That movie's I've been hearing about that for fucking
So,
2010.
yeah.
It's rare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
fan.
What's up with this guy's movies? Like he makes them and then they don't get released for like 5 years.
Don't you remember a couple years ago all those guys, oh, you got to get the red case Blu-ray. It's rare. It was like a import of that film from I don't know.
Oh
one of those-
yeah. It's fucking dumb. What was the other movie he fucking did? The Green Inferno. Like took fucking 5 years to
shit.
come out.
Pure shit. Has that guy done anything good? What's he done? What's his fucking
Inglorious
Hostel, right?
Bastards. He was
Oh,
in that.
see,
Cabin
have you
Fever,
seen?
baby.
Yeah, Cabin Fever's good. Have you seen Hostel?
Hostel's
Yeah.
great.
Hostel's good. I like Hostel. It's pretty fucked
Hostel
up.
2 sucks.
See, never bothered with it.
No, it sucks.
Shit. Cabin Fever's good though. Fuck that remake. So no Rider Strong I ain't watching.
All right, time for some theatrical releases.
Whole lot of nothing.
Yeah. First thing we have here is a remake of just like one of the greatest films ever made, according to a lot, Ben-Hur.
Oh my god!
Like
I saw
this-
something about-
Freeman with dreads.
This is projected to make like no money.
This is kind of sad, really. I mean,
No,
I can't think of anything that's been made, like remade about one of these, like critically, universally.
ask yourself though: have you seen any marketing for this movie anywhere? Because I have. I have not seen a fucking. I mean, like when the trailer came out, you know, I saw a story about it, but haven't seen any advertisement. Haven't seen anyone talking about it.
No.
This is gonna make. It's gonna make $10.
It looks like ass.
Well, the people that are going to go to it are ones that have no idea that there's an original of it, too.
Never watched it yet.
Yeah, I mean, I want to check it out, but I won't be checking this one out.
Good choice.
We've got the new animated film, Kubo and the Two Strings.
God.
I'm not sure who's putting this out, but probably their attempt to make a
Won't
new
be seeing that. Go ahead.
attempt to make a new animated franchise. I don't know anything about
Kubo.
this. Haven't seen anything of it, but
What a name.
Yeah, I'll pass on that. I like women.
Walt Shitney.
We've got
Is that a Disney movie?
no. I don't think it is. I don't know who.
It sounds like one of those knockoff fucking shitty CGI movies that, Mars needs
DreamWorks.
bombs or some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
Anyone want to watch Chicken Run?
Ooh, Mel Gibson.
Dude, that's a good movie.
We have Miles Teller's comeback, War Dogs, starring Jonah Hill.
Comeback.
Interesting.
This ain't no comeback.
I still think this looks shitty.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
bad. It's
yeah.
horrible.
It does look awful.
Dude, Jonah Hill, that guy's gonna have a heart attack in like a couple years. His
Dude.
weight fluctuates so badly.
He fluctuates like Christian Bale, but except he gets fatter.
He looks
Yeah,
so
like the
fucking.
opposite of the Machinist.
I've seen a picture of him in that from that movie, like wearing khakis with a white shirt tucked in. He looks like a fucking blimp. he looks.
He looks like
a
he's gonna
blimp.
explode.
He
Honestly,
looks fucking huge, man.
looks like
Poor guy.
Violet, fucking
Yeah.
from, yeah.
Jonah, you turning violet, Jonah.
Jonah, you're turning into a blimp.
Well, since Jonah Hill's got a flick coming out, you guys want to?
I got one
Run.
more, brother.
Since he's gonna
Oh.
die soon. we
Sorry.
might as well.
I didn't say I was done.
Sorry,
Changed my
bud.
celebrity death pick from Chevy Chase to Jonah Hill.
We have Daniel Radcliffe's new film, Imperium. The one that we did a little,
Skinhead shit.
yeah, getting good reviews, so I'm curious.
He's just
Why?
waiting for that. That guy's just waiting for that phone ring for a new Harry Potter movie, man.
Yeah, that's how it'll be at the end of Fantastic Beasts. I'm on
Yeah.
my way from the future.
Yeah, it's like fucking how Jurassic World should have ended.
I love the dude.
Harry, you're a grand wizard, Harry.
Yeah, but
Puts his wand up to his head. I'm on my way.
I like the guy. This just looks. I mean, give me a break.
You're a
Yeah.
Nazi,
This will be on
Harry.
Netflix in 2 months.
Give it 2 months for real.
2 months on Netflix. Heard it here first.
But
I
is
like him.
you do?
He's my favorite.
He's pretty good. What's that? He did like some indie, like some romance. What's it called? It's like it's him and some chick.
What If?
I just watched. Yeah, What If? I watched
Yeah.
that a few months ago. That was all right. I like that one.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I want to check it out from the trailer.
I wonder
remember
if that's how he.
Voodoo.
I wonder if that's he and Paul Dano kind of met up because the girl in that Zoe Kazan is Paul Dano's girlfriend.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
Dano's hitting that.
Yeah,
Man, she had tons of fapping photos.
Shit, that guy's got a fucking man. The dude's ugly as hell.
Like,
I
he
saw
looks ugly in
some-
movies, like you can imagine in real life.
I saw someone, that fucking Making a Murderer guy that's getting out. I don't know much about it, but what's the guy's name? You know about that, Brendan.
Dassey.
Yeah. Someone did there was an article if they were to make a movie about that, who would play him? It was a fucking Paul Dano side by side.
Oh my
man.
God.
I'm like, holy shit, it kind of looks fucking, that would work.
Yeah, shout out to that shit, though, if you guys watch that Making a Murderer. Brendan Dassey. He's going to WrestleMania, brother.
He's free.
So is that like the end of the story or what? How
No, it's
The
not
other guy's
over.
still in there.
Yeah. They're continuing the episodes, though, and this is just all part of it. Maybe it's a whole publicity thing now. Who knows?
I wouldn't doubt it.
But yeah.
But
the
now-
kid's on the phone, 16 years old. Am I going to get to see WrestleMania? And now he's 30. And all the memes are, get that kid to WrestleMania.
Oh, fuck. That was that long. When was that? Like early 2000s?
2006 or something had happened.
I don't know much about it.
Yeah, it's fucked up, but
All I know is that everyone's a forensics crime expert after watching it.
exactly.
yeah. Good documentary, though. That's the third one of that crime documentary series where someone gets released after the fucking documentary comes out.
Netflix original content. No joke.
Saving
Right.
lives.
Yeah,
Crazy.
saving lives.
But that was all you had coming out to theaters, filmies?
Yeah, I'm done now.
But yeah, no, aside from Jonah Hill and the heavyset guy, what you guys been watching?
Well, I wasn't watching any of them, but
No movies this week, bud?
I'll go ahead and kick this one off. So I checked out one that I was a little worried about. It's a Stanley Kubrick film, 3 hours long.
I did see that you saw.
Barry Lyndon?
Barry Lyndon, yes.
Where'd you watch? Did you buy it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I
Dude, I wanted to see that, man.
yeah,
I have it.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that in my head, I was like, 3 hours of Revolutionary War, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, how interesting could this be? Pretty fucking interesting. Stanley Kubrick really did a great job at making the Revolutionary War interesting.
Isn't see, I'm not familiar with the movie, but I know the guy's in there that he's Grady in The Shining. When he sees him in the bathroom,
Right.
that guy got like a prominent role in Barry Lyndon.
Right, yeah, he does. Basically, it's about this Irish guy living in England who wants to work his way up into British nobility, so he does everything he can to do that, whether it's kill people, fuck people over. It's just like his climb to the top.
Fuck people.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, fuck people.
Cinematography's though, like it's one of the best films I hear, right, for cinematography.
Yeah, it looks really good. They I think they did it with natural light. So it's a lot of candlelight scenes, and acting's great. And I mean, Kubrick, I thought this might be the one that he may have done wrong, and he can't do wrong.
A couple years ago, like I would have had no interest in seeing that, but now after watching the rest of his shit and just knowing more about him, like I definitely want to see that.
Yeah, I mean, I was just so intrigued the whole movie, and it's definitely one I will watch again and probably give it a M word eventually.
You got the blue?
Shit. All right.
Yeah, I have the blue. Got it for.
See, I've never stumbled across that Blu-ray like anywhere. I always like hope to find it at a pawn shop or something. But
Yeah, I just bought it at Atomic, I think, for like $5-6.
What?
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Grab-
he found
You were
that,
there.
and I found Lolita
Yeah, that's right.
for $7.
Oh, see, I want to watch that too, man.
Yeah, that's next for me.
The old pedophile movie.
You were gonna make another pedo joke there, huh?
Yeah, thought I got it out.
Oh, okay. you did.
Thought I got it out.
But yeah, no, one that I checked out, we've talked about when it was getting released, is a documentary about Richard Linklater, Dream is Destiny. Kind of premiered at a lot of the festivals. I don't know. It's hard to tell because I, already really like Linklater if it's as great as I think it is. But for, a documentary about a filmmaker, really well done. And it's actually told, pretty much from Linklater, which is great.
Did I read the letterbox right? You watched it twice in 2 days?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I just had the 48-hour rental, and I put it on when I was doing something and ended up just watching it again.
Not gonna make any jokes, bud. Was just wondering.
No, I was just waiting for Seth. We know all about it.
I did take a nap and then.
Hey,
It's
You know what,
Linklater,
buddy?
so he's cool with it.
I was gonna call you out. I just had it on in the background. But if you said you watched it, then you watched it, man.
There you go, man. But no,
Hey, do whatever you want.
You know,
Do whatever you want.
a lot of these fucking documentaries on these are just about people that worked with the director or worked with the actor or whatever, and it's great to actually see it from his his perspective, like his
What's it
career.
go film by film.
It kind of like starts out with them talking about Slacker and prior to Slacker, like basically his childhood. They got Chuck Linklater in there, got his like parents in there talking about him and talking about how he loved movies and shit. He's pretty much just an athlete up until like he got injured and then got into movies.
Well, never mind.
Yeah,
never mind.
I'm interested.
Say it. What were you gonna say?
That's how they did the De Palma movie, straight from his mouth.
Oh.
So I'm curious.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, I need to check that out.
way
Where was
bet-
that at? Where'd you rent it?
I got it on Amazon for like $5. It was way better than the documentary that came out last year, 21 Years, about
See,
Richard Linklater.
I haven't even bothered with that because I just heard it's pretty like lackluster.
Yeah. Well, I only saw it like one time, but I don't remember Linklater even really being in it at all. It was mainly
Right.
just the actors he worked with.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And the one thing about the new one that I watched, I remember we've talked about it before, Waking Life, like what it would be like to see that without the animation or whatever, and you actually get to see quite a bit of it in the documentary, which is cool.
Any Wiley Wiggins interviews on this doc?
Were they able to get them?
They didn't really bring many actors in, just Ethan Hawke, Trish Arquette, most of the Boyhood crew.
Eller?
Damn.
Yeah, he's in there.
Oh,
He's not in it like a bunch. He's not in it as much as like Ethan Hawke, talking about all the
Oh,
movies
yeah.
he did and stuff. But
Eller Coltrane and Keir Gilchrist starring in.
Oh,
A
wow.
gay
I want-
porno.
Hey, I'd rent it.
Weekend.
really,
Yeah.
Dude,
Eller is a tranny.
that gay weekend movie's a Criterion too.
Dude, see, it's
No,
probably
it's
good.
not.
It had like an average 4 stars. It's probably a great film. I don't care about I watch gay cinema.
No, I don't
It's
care
fine.
either, but I just found that interesting that both weekends were Criterion's.
What is Criterion doing?
I'd watch gay cinema.
Yeah,
I
it's
watch
good,
gay
it's good.
cinema.
Yeah,
It's just called cinema.
Well,
that's
did you
true. That's
watch
true.
anything gay or not?
No, I did. I didn't think I had anything to talk about, but I do. I'm kind of getting a little into. Oh, here's another real stand-up guy. Getting into Woody Allen a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's love him.
Yeah. I've watched some of his, a couple of his movies, kind of slowly going through it, but I got Midnight in Paris, a few weeks back.
Oh, yeah, I have that.
When Nick D was in town, I picked that up at like Video Games Etc. I think. Watched that the other night. Fucking good movie, man.
I
Haven't
love
seen
that
it?
movie.
I still
Yeah,
need to watch it. Yeah, but I heard it's
yeah, it's pretty good. It was not what I thought it was going to be like at all. You got Owen Wilson and his soon-to-be wife are in Paris, and like the whole, the beginning of the movie, he's just like, oh, I'd love to be alive in the 20s, like, I'm
Yeah.
all about the artsy stuff, and his fiance's just like, shut up, fucking idiot. So then, there's like this time travel aspect that at midnight, this car picks him up and it kind of takes him back to the 20s, and it's really well done. I thought it was fucking awesome. He meets like all these, historical artists and authors and shit, and it was really, really well done, really unique.
Yeah, I want
Not
to
what I-
rewatch that. I watched it a long time ago, but I don't think I was in the right mood.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought it was just going to be like some sort of, they're in Paris or whatever, but I didn't know there was any sort of like that, going back in time or any shit like that. I mean, I thought it was really
Right.
cool. So yeah, I dug it. I mean, I'm kind of getting into Woody Allen a little bit. I'll keep going through his filmography. He's fucking got a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot.
It's like
Movie
a
a
movie
year.
every, yeah.
You watched Manhattan too, didn't you? Like a while back.
Yeah, that was really good. That's my favorite from him. I'd say. Out
Yeah,
of what I've
I
seen.
wanna-
Yeah, me too.
Let's see that one.
Fucking great.
Nice.
So
Well,
yeah,
I have one finally, guys. I watched one.
I hope
make-
you're going
to-
to talk about what I think you're going to talk about.
there's
yeah,
only
bro.
one to talk about.
Human Centipede 3 again. I rewatched
Oh.
it.
Oh.
No. I needed to cleanse my mind of bad cinema. So I watched the documentary, Dear Zachary. I know Filmy's. Oh wow,
Sorry,
poor taste, sir.
had a burrito.
No.
Dear Seth's belly.
Dear Seth Belly.
Oh,
No, I
keep
watched
going.
Dear Zachary. I know Filmies and Nick, you both have seen it and loved it, so been wanting to check it out. And God, I mean, great fucking film, but I just felt like a miserable like human being after I watched that movie.
Like
Yeah.
it's depressing enough, and then it takes that next step.
Yeah, like the twist, if you want to call it or whatever, is just like fuck. Like you're already feeling shitty, and then it just brings you even lower. So
You really want that bitch to get hers.
yeah,
But how terrifying is it the moment that they tell you what happens? Like the sounds and everything. It's just
and I remember you guys talking about it, but I wasn't like paying attention to like the twist part. So like it did still like affect me. Like I didn't know what was going on, but I knew something was kind of like the video footage that they got of her and stuff. It wasn't current. So I was like, okay, something's probably gonna happen to her, but fuck, like,
yeah.
I mean, the way it rolled, it's weird that shit like that, it's like true and that actually happens and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, fucking great documentary.
It's on
Can't recommend
Netflix.
it. It is on Netflix, yeah. Check it out. You will cry. I guarantee you, Seth, you will cry.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't have a soul.
You
I
will
know,
like it. That
but-
I will guarantee that.
Yeah, you'll like it for sure.
Has
yeah.
no emotion.
Disturbing though,
So
seriously.
that's what I thought. Oh, that's and then I was like, oh my god.
Cool.
Cool. You want to wrap this one up?
Yeah, I think we're. It's about that time. We did skip on the first time watch this week just because some time constraints, a lot going on this week. So, next week we'll be talking about what's the movie? Close Up. That's the one that's gonna
Yep.
be first time watch. Better watch it, Seth. Better watch it.
That's annoying.
Do what you want, bud.
Wikipedia. It's cool.
Just do what you want.
Yeah, mutual. I'll do what we want. How about that? Yeah. So we talk about that next week.
Yeah.
Get a great discussion on Close Up. I can't wait to break it down. Got a lot of things to say about it.
Jesus Christ.
And thanks to
Is
Patrick
it your pick
Bryce.
next week too?
You could skip me again. Yeah. Thanks to Patrick Brice for coming on the show, chatting with us for a little bit. Really cool, man.
Yep, really
Yeah.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I don't know. We
Yeah.
had a blast with that. So, check out Patrick Brice. Check out his work. Hope you enjoyed that little conversation. Any closing thoughts? Anyone?
Love this podcast.
Love this podcast. I love
Sticking
it.
around.
I love it as much now as I did when we started.
I'm glad to know it.
God.
Well, I don't know how much you loved it back then.
Oh, you're right. I love it even more. Hey, if you're listening on iTunes, make sure you come over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/cinemascumbags.
Okay.
A lot of good stuff over there. We want to make sure everyone that listens is part of that YouTube experience. Tons of content. Got some good things planned. As we steadily approach the fall months, there's going to be some great content flowing out. So get on over there. You can follow us, contact us on any of the social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Cinema Scumbags. Love hearing from you guys. Questions, comments, we will address them accordingly. That being said, episode 63? Episode 63 in the books. Thank you guys for listening. And as always, go fuck yourselves.